What's up guys, CJ here and welcome back to another all-new Hybrid Network News Flash. Making a big-budget blockbuster movie in this day and age is more complicated than ever before. And that process is even further complicated if that film happens to exist in a franchise that's full of some of the most iconic fictional characters ever created, like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and more. So you can imagine the strain on James Wan and Jason Momoa and all of the people involved in Aquaman's production. But one tool the filmmakers have to help them make the best film possible are test screenings, where they show a version of the film during post-production to an audience, and in doing that they get real people's feedback on what the film is lacking or needs more of, or what it needs to change, whether it's more of this character or less of that character, or more humor, more heart, whatever it may be. This is a chance for the studio to actually screen the movie for real people, and oftentimes these screenings can drastically alter the final product before the general audience even gets a chance to see it. And Aquaman was no different. The version of the film that we see in the final product is way different from what was originally screened to audiences, and here's why. In an episode of the Fire and Water podcast, Neil Daly, a guy who's an independent market research analyst and a moderator for focus groups, actually gave some incredible behind-the-scenes info on how the film was screened for these test audiences and what changed as a result of it. Neil revealed that the film was actually screened 4 times for test audiences before it came out. Once very, very early in post-production when there was only about 10% of the CGI rendered, another at some point in between, and then 2 back-to-back in later fall. And usually what we see here is in the first screenings, these can affect the most change, like major character arcs can be added or destroyed as a result of that screening. The tone of the movie can change in that first screening. The later stuff is usually just like final tweaks for the final edit, but that first one is huge. And according to Daly, 2 major things came about as a result of that first screening. First, the audience felt that the movie needed more humor, so the lighthearted tone that we see as the final product of this film is actually a result of that test audience watching the entire movie and saying, you know what, we'd like to see it be more funny, which leads, of course, to the tone that the film had, and part of the reason why it was such a major success with audiences around the world. The other thing they said, well, the movie's getting a little bit too long. Specifically, according to Daly, the audiences loved Black Manta, and you know, I think a lot of audience members in the general audience did too, myself included, but he originally had a much larger character arc in the first version of the film that was test screened that ultimately got cut down. And now this isn't a result of DC imposing a runtime limit like they did with Justice League. Wan had the freedom to make the film as long or as short as he wanted, but instead he opted to remove a lot of the Black Manta scenes from the movie, apparently because originally they just had more Black Manta in there because they weren't sure if they'd get a sequel, and when they knew kind of that they had a hit on their hands and they were definitely getting a sequel, they decided to hold a lot of the Black Manta story for that second film. So maybe a little teaser there about what Aquaman 2 might have in store. But how much exactly did they cut out? Brace yourself, because it is a lot more than you might expect. They actually removed, according to Daly, 20 to 30 minutes of the final film, and most of that was Black Manta's scenes, so that all is stuff that's probably going to be held for the second film. But let us know in the comment section down below what you make of these changes, the humor, and less Black Manta being directed by test audiences. That's going to do it for me here, though. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider turning on your notifications to be alerted every time we upload a new video. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.